going on YouTube, man? It's your boy Big Pain back with another video, man. Before we get started, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, man. You know, it's very important, man. I appreciate whoever coming into this channel, liking the content, commenting, you know, subscribing, whatever you're doing to push my content, man. I respect it and I salute you, man. Let's get right into it, man. You know, this NFL Top 100, man, you know, it's a lot of double standards in it, and I'm not here to bash anybody, but I'm just gonna bring up examples, and you know, the truth. If it affects you, you know, that's your problem. When I bring up the truth, that's your problem, not mine. If you got a problem with the truth, that's your problem dealing with the truth. Let's get right into it. You know, as you can see, you know, I'm gonna address the Eagles first. They put our O-line and D-line up there, and they put them basically like, let's get them out the way early. Let's just get the Eagles O-line out there early. You know, it's like, okay, we know they're solid. Let's just group them all together. You know, that's what they usually do. And it's cool, I guess. But one thing I can say is that if an O-line and D-line and a quarterback carries you to the playoffs, you know, just off of the strength of the big boys, even though the big boys are important, you know, those guys should be rated, you know, a little higher than what they're being rated, as if those guys are just like barely making the list. Like, look at it from this angle. Our O-line and D-line has carried us to the playoffs 3 years in a row. So good that guys like Nick Foles are able to step in and have success for a good amount of time, if I'm just being honest with you. Let's get on the Carson Wentz note, because I know everybody wants to talk about it, and you know, it's looking like he might not make the list. And from reports, I'm saying that there were only 5 Eagles to make the list. Some people are saying, well, Darius Slay wasn't an Eagle, so don't count him. Carson Wentz should still make the list. But with that being said, even if Carson Wentz does make the list, what about Lane Johnson? He deserves to make the list as well. He's part of this O-line, one of the best right tackles in the league, right? And only an Eagles fan could really defend that. There's not too many fans that's gonna sit here and defend our O-line or D-line. You gotta understand something, Eagles Nation. Eagles are similar to the Patriots in this one way. Nobody likes us. Like, you come to Philly, we have some of the worst fans, right? When in regards to, you know, just straight being violent. Only other fan base I see up there that gets busy like us or is right under us is probably the Raiders. The Raiders go hard, and the Raiders haven't been having success in some years, and they go hard. Like, salute them. Let's get back on topic. Like I said, a lot of people you don't see too many people rooting for the Eagles unless it's somebody that had ties to the Eagles or somebody who really just likes the Eagles. So you talk about some of these players, you don't think they feel the same way? It's easy to like the Cowboys because a lot of people like the Cowboys. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, what do you mean? Cowboys are some of the... First off, Cowboys fans are everywhere. I went to go visit some of my family in South Carolina last summer. Best Cowboys fans down there heavy. I thought it would have been Panthers fans. They like, nah, the Panthers came in recent. You know, I grew up with Cowboys fans, you know, oldest Cowboys fans. I live in New Jersey myself. You would think it's a lot of just Giants fans out here. Well, I'm an Eagles fan, but you know, Philadelphia isn't far from New Jersey, and I'm able to see the Eagles at least twice a year because they play the Giants twice a year. But it's a lot of Cowboys fans out here. My old basketball coach is a Cowboys fan. I got 2 friends that are Cowboys fans. You know, more than 2 friends. It's a lot of people that are Cowboys fans. What I'm getting at is that there's a lot of people in this world that like the Cowboys, right? And also on the Dak Prescott note, before I get back to Carson Wentz, he had great numbers this year, right? And I'm not here to debate if he should be top 100 or not, because, you know, I'm not going to debate that. But the thing is, right, do we base it off of numbers or wins or both? Because when you look at it, right, Dak Prescott made it. They went 8-8. It's his second time making it. They went 8-8. He had the numbers, but not the wins to make the playoffs, right? And we talking about quarterbacks here, right? Should he had been high, if Carson Wentz doesn't make it, is he like 50 spots better than Carson Wentz, or however much they got him over? Is he that much better than Carson Wentz, right? In my opinion, no. I don't think he's better than Carson Wentz at all. But when you look at it, see, it's a funny thing with stats because people say stats don't lie. And one thing that you cannot do is in certain stats, it don't lie, like sacks, QB pressures. You're physically dominating somebody, so you can't compare a D lineman to a quarterback. With a quarterback, it's similar to being a point guard like Westbrook. You touch the football the most. You manipulate the game the most. The game could be over since the third quarter, since the start of the third quarter, and you could just be throwing the ball. And you'll have good numbers if you keep doing that by the end of the year if you're constantly throwing the ball. Now, he has a good completion percentage, but, the numbers, if you look at him, it's like, wait, hold on. Did the Cowboys have the second best offense in the league? They did not. The offense wasn't better than the Saints. Offense wasn't better than the Chiefs. Wasn't better than the Ravens. It just wasn't. And not saying that they didn't have a good offense. They did have a good offense, but your offense needs to come through in the clutch on the regular to be considered a great offense. It needs to come together in a time when you really need it. Now, y'all could blame it on Jason Garrett or whatever. I'm not here for that. I'm not here to debate that. That's another topic for the Cowboys fans. I'm just saying the offense didn't come together in the clutch. There's multiple times where these guys, Amari Cooper, didn't show up in away games, right? It's a stat that I did on a previous video. Ezekiel Elliott rushed for 102 yards when they win, 66 yards when they lose. So if you ask me, the person that's really responsible for that offense is the running back. But how it's looking like people are going to say the quarterback is the main reason why they win, when it's not the case. Not the case for certain teams that got running backs as well, that got elite running backs. But when a quarterback got all these numbers and benefiting from a good O-line, you got to understand the Cowboys, if you talk about as a collectively with the O-line, the receiving core, and the running back, they have, if you add all that together, it might be maybe 1, 2, or 3. With that being said, if you put certain quarterbacks in that situation in Dallas, they would have made the playoffs. He has a lot of good numbers, and I salute him for producing some of those numbers in certain situations. But also, what about games when they needed him to come through and win? He didn't show up. And I'm not upset about him being in the top 100. I'm just saying, what criteria are we basing this off of? Are we basing it off of numbers? Are we basing it off of us liking a person, their personality? Or are we basing it off of their wins? Or is it all of it together? I'm confused because Kyler Murray didn't have better numbers at Wentz at being a better runner, but didn't have better numbers at being a quarterback than Carson Wentz. He didn't win more games than Carson Wentz, but he is more popular than Carson Wentz right now because he's the rookie of the year. So, is it a popularity contest? Because are people getting put in the top 100 because of their name? Look at it from this angle. Larry Fitzgerald rated 69. If you look at his numbers in comparison to Alshon Jeffrey's numbers in 2018, Alshon Jeffrey should have made the top 100 list in 2018, which he did not, I believe. Now, I'm not here to make an argument for Alshon Jeffrey being a top 100 player because he wasn't. There were receivers that were better than him that year. But when it comes to Hall of Famer, it's like, he's top 100 because of the things he did and he has zero drop. Man, listen, if y'all gonna base it off of what people did instead of in comparison to what they're doing, these lists shouldn't even be on TV. It's great to debate about, but why waste your breath? It's based off of people names. Josh Allen, more exciting runner than Carson Wentz. But is he a better quarterback than Carson Wentz? No. How good is Josh Allen if you take away his running ability? Answer that. Not very good. Oh, he has a big arm. Okay, a lot of dudes have big arms. What does that get them? Nowhere. Like, come on now, a lot of people are going to have their own criteria for certain situations and specific situations and for these lists, and, it doesn't make any sense. Here's another prime example, Shaquille Barrett. If there's any pass rusher over Shaquille Barrett, put it like this, right? Shaquille Barrett had 19 sacks, led the league with sacks, right? Right? Shaquille Barrett should be a top 15 player. If you want to put Aaron Donald over him, cool. I don't really care because Aaron Donald gets double teamed a lot. People didn't really know about Shaquille Barrett until this year, so we'll see what he's really made of again next year if he can duplicate this. But after Aaron Donald, really, who is a better pass rusher last year than Shaquille Barrett? We're not talking about things people did. We're talking about what they're doing right now. And I don't know. I'm just confused because, like, when you look at Carson Wentz, man, the things that he went through, lost his 3 receivers, right? Had to bring in practice squad receivers and guys like Greg Ward, just it's a lot of no names on that roster, man. We had to put Joshua Perkins at wide receiver, which was a tight end, and I'm drawing a blank on the other guys. It's just like he still made the playoffs. Still was the first quarterback ever to throw for 4,000 yards without a 500-yard receiver. And it's like, wow, he might not hit the top 100. What are we basing it off of? Because it's like, I don't know. I really don't comprehend it. So I'm not going to sit here and get too upset about it, but I'm just confused. What are we basing these lists off of? Are we basing off a person's name, which results in what they did, how popular the person is, their numbers, or their success, or all 4? Because Carson Wentz may not be as popular as some of these guys, and he might not have as like better numbers than some of these guys, but he still had legit numbers, still made the playoffs, and he got injured, but you can't disregard everything he did because he got injured. Because if that's the case, then let's disregard Todd Gurley's MVP season last year when he got dinged up and was injured in the Super Bowl. Let's take his whole season away from him from last year. You can't take that away. You can't take away Mark Ingram's 1,000-yard rushing season just because he messed up his Achilles previous weeks and couldn't produce in the playoffs. You can't take away what they did because of an injury. They still produce. And I'm just confused because also Ryan Tannehill's on the list. And this player right here, does he deserve to be on the list or not? Now, I'm not headed to debate, but in comparison to a quarterback that started all season to a dude that took over, how can you compare that? It was a game where I think, what's his name? Tannehill passed the ball 6 times. What? When you ever see a quarterback that's in the top 10 throw the ball 6 times in a game? What? This ain't Jim Brown Leatherhead era? Come on now, man. Listen, y'all gotta make sure that y'all criteria that y'all basing these games off of or these players off of aren't so biased. Because I don't care if you got Dak Prescott on your top 100. I just know Carson Wentz should be on that top 100. Period. I don't care if you got Dak Prescott up there. I don't care if you got Kyler Murray up there or Josh Allen up there. All I know is Josh Allen don't got a playoff win, just like how Carson Wentz don't got a playoff win. Lamar Jackson, the MVP, great player, don't have a playoff win because y'all love to hold that against Carson Wentz. He doesn't have a playoff win. So, at the end of the day, we got to just call a spade, and whoever wanted to pick up Carson Wentz, if it's 10 quarterbacks on the list and you pick up 9 quarterbacks ahead of Carson Wentz, for what reason? Only way I can say that is because of injury. If you say, oh, he get injured a lot. And you would say, well, he's dealt with his injuries and I wouldn't pick him up. I respect that. Like I said, I respect the injury debates. But when you're talking about a guy's skills and when he's on the field and him producing, come on now, there's not 10 quarterbacks in the league that's better than Carson Wentz, man. Y'all gotta call a spade, bro. These dudes out here be having the most craziest weapons, bro. Craziest O-lines. Dudes got Odell, Jarvis Landry, Kareem Hunt, and Nick Chubb. But y'all want to hold a dude accountable for getting hurt in one game, and he got these receivers that don't want to catch the ball, that's allergic to catching. Man, listen, yo, I just want everybody out here to call a spade And after that, I'll be cool with it, man. That's all I want fans to do, man. Just take your biases out and just judge a team or judge a player off of just a true football lens, a football fan lens, man. Because a lot of y'all are going to have certain players up here ahead of players that really produced last season and really won games last season. And y'all going to just knock them down because they don't have a big name. And, you know, it's just going to be, it's wild to me, man. Like, Aaron Rodgers going to be on this list, man. And I'm confused. And this is another thing about Aaron Rodgers. Should he be a top 100 player? Yes. And I'm confused. Are we basing off of playoff success as well, too? Because if we are, then guys like Ryan Tannehill should be higher on the list. Because he made it to the AFC Championship last year. Are we basing off of playoff success? Because playoff success is a team thing. Now, a quarterback can take over, get credit for certain games. I can understand that. But at the end of the day, certain dudes are literally handing the ball off a lot. They're not understanding that. These dudes don't have to throw the ball. Like Carson Wentz, the Eagles are still considered a throwing team with 3 receivers down. How are we considered a throwing team with 3 starting receivers down? Think about that. How are we still considered a throwing team? This is what they get. We didn't just start handing the ball off. We had to still throw the ball. And, you know, it is what it is, man. You know, I just would like for everybody to just not be biased in these debates, man. You know, and like I said, you know, it's Eagles Nation all the time. And, you know, I'm going to give it to you how I feel, you know, 100%. And, you know, there's no bias when I talk. I'm an Eagles fan, so you can't forget that. But I keep him 100 at all times. Like I said, I got no problem with Dak Prescott being on the list, man. He put up great numbers last year. But he wasn't better than Carson Wentz last year, especially in clutch moments. With that being said, Kyler Murray should not be on this list. He didn't have a better season than Daniel Jones in New York. Yes, he did not have a better season than Daniel Jones. Look at the numbers. Right? And he didn't start all season like Kyler Murray. Larry Fitzgerald shouldn't be on the list. Sorry, I don't care who get butthurt about that. And, you know, it just is what it is, man. You know, I salute whoever tuned into this channel. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Eagles Nation, man.